Hello, good evening. My name is Ms. Jane Tamolak, BS Ed English Section 2. So this evening I'm going to discuss about the theory of Sigmund Freud and Jean Piaget theory. So the psychoanalysis theory and cognitive development theory. So let's discuss the theory of Sigmund Freud first. So here, what is psychoanalysis? So, psychoanalysis is a method of explaining and treating mental and emotional problems. So, it is a way of understanding and treating mental health and emotional issues. So, let's say, for example, um, let's say someone is experiencing persistent anxiety and they're unsure why. So, in psychoanalysis, the therapies might encourage the patient to talk freely about their childhood dreams, memories, and relationship. And during the discussion, the patient might reveal a dream about being lost. Through the discussion, the therapist and the patient might connect this dream to a feeling of abandonment during childhood, and perhaps from a parent's absences or emotional unavailability. So basically, psychoanalysis is therapeutic approach that explores the unconscious mind through discussion of dreams, memories, and free association to understand and treat mental health issues. Next is that we have Sigmund Freud. So, he was an Austrian neurologist now, known as the father of psychoanalysis. So, Freud believed that we create our own belief and behavior based on experiences, not because some higher power pre-program us. This is different from the idea in the religions made us that God made us a certain way. So let's say, for example, two people have different ideas about sex before marriage. One thinks it's wrong because of the religion, and the other doesn't. So Freud would say that their ideas of beliefs come from their own lives, not from a supernatural beliefs that telling them what to do. So next, so again, Freud believed that religion is something people create in their minds, not something that controls them. And it is just like the unconscious desire to motivate people to act accordingly. Next, we have the conscious mind. Conscious mind is part of your mind responsible for logic and reasoning. So conscious mind is part of your mind. So basically, it's your awareness and awareness of yourself and the world around you. And it's responsible for your rational thought process and decision making. That is the conscious mind. Next, we have the subconscious mind. Subconscious mind is also part of your mind that is responsible for all your involuntary actions. So unconscious mind is the part of your mind that you don't know, that handle things you don't have to think about. Like it controls automatically, it controls automatically, like your breathing, heartbeat, and digestions. It also stores memory, and it also influences your behavior in a ways that you may be fully aware of. Next, we have unconscious mind. So, in unconscious mind, this is part of your mind that you don't know, but it still affects how you act and think. It's where your hidden memories and feelings are stored. Okay, that is the unconscious mind. Next is the psychoanalytic theory. So, Sigmund Freud says that human behavior comes from the interaction of three parts of the mind: the ID, ego, and superego. So let's discuss the ID first. So ID, according to Sigmund Freud, is the part of the unconscious that seeks pleasure. So this is the basic part present from birth. It works on the uh, pleasure principle, meaning it wants immediate satisfaction of desires like hungry, thirst, and comfort without caring about the consequences. Next, we have the ego. The ego is responsible for creating balance between pleasure and pain. So, this part develops as we grow and works in the principle of it works on the reality of principle. It tries to balance the ID's demands with what's possible and socially accountable. Next, we have the superego. Here in superego, this develops around 4 or 5 years old, incorporates the moral of society. So this is the moral part of our mind, formed by internalizing values and rules from parents and society. So, in other words, ID is our basic desires, superego is our sense of wrong and right, while the ego is our practical thinking. So, inani siya. So, sa ID, ang bata, mingon ang bata nga, kanang, I want cake right now. Inya, og di na mo tagaan siya, hilak na siya. Well, superego mo na siya nga, no, ang cake is not good for your health. Dili na siya kuan sa imong dili na siya healthy. Well, the superego is na siya tunga between ID and ang ego is na siya tunga ni ID and superego. Like siya ang taga-balance sa unsay saktong buhaton. So, next, Freud separate the superego into two categories: the ideal self and conscious. No, I'm sorry about the error. It's supposed to be conscience. Okay. The first, the ideal self and conscience. The conscience contains ideals and morals that exist within the society that prevent people from acting out based on their internal desires. So, ang conscience, this is like your inner voice that says, don't do bad things because it's make you feel guilty. And while the ideal self, this is the opposite of conscience. Like, it's make you feel proud if you do good things. Okay? Next is, the conclusion. So, the aim of the psychoanalysis is to release repressed emotion and experiences, make the unconscious conscious. So that would be all for the psychoanalysis theory from psychoanalysis theory of Sigmund Freud. So let's proceed to the next topic. The theory of Jean Piaget, theory of cognitive development. First is that Jean Piaget in 1896 to 1980 was one of the 20th century most influential researchers in the area of developmental psychology. He was originally trained in the areas of biology and philosophy and considered himself a genetic epistemology. Piaget wanted to know how children learn through the development and study of knowledge. Next, what is cognition? So, cognition is derived from the Latin word cognoscere, which means to know or to recognize or to conceptualize. Cognition is simply the process of knowing, understanding, and thinking. It's how we learn and make sense of the world around us, using our thoughts, experiences, and our senses. So, next, this part is about development. So, again, what is development? So, development So, cognitive development is the emergence of ability to think and understand. So in other words, development is how our ability to think and understand growth. It's a lifelong process, learning to think, to reason out, and to solve problems. So Piaget studied this by watching children and seeing how na-change ang ilang panghuna-huna as they got older. Yeah. So, these are the key points of the theory of Jean Piaget. Schema. The first one we have schema. And what is schema, by the way? So, schemas are the mental framework that help us understand the world. So the first one we have assimilation. It is using an existing schema to deal with a new object or the situation. So for example, a child knows what a dog is. Kabaw na siya nga kanang animal is dog na siya but iyang gitawag ang dog og cat. Ano yung example sa assimilation? Next, we have accommodation. This happens when the existing schema does not work and needs to be changed to deal with the new object or situation. So, here sa accommodation, ang bata is kabaw na siya, unsay difference sa dog and sa cat. So, next we have equilibration. Piaget believed that cognitive development did not process at a steady rate, but rather than leaps and bounds. So, Piaget believed that cognitive development didn't happen smoothly, but rather in bursts of learning. Yeah, that's all for the key points of the theory. Next, we have the stages of development. First, we have the sensory motor stage, birth to 2 years. This is what we call infancy. And infants, babies learns about the world through their senses. Mga bata pa ni birth to 2 years old, so basically makadungog sila, makakita sila, kung sila makitaan, ilang hikapon, ilang i-reach. Yeah. Next, we have the pre-operational stage, 2 to 7 years old, toddler and early childhood. So here is mag-start na ang mga bata mugamit sila og symbols and language. But the pre-operational stage na siya two categories or na siya duha ka stage, which is the preconceptual stage and the other one is intuitive stage. So let's talk about preconceptual stage first. So the preconceptual stage 2 to 4 years is increased use verbal presentation. Mag-use gapon ang mga bata og mga words and symbols, but they are still very self-centered or egocentric. Like for example, a toy doll is a real baby to them. Yeah, that is preconceptual stage. Next, we have intuitive stage. This is 4 to 7 years. Intuitive stage, 4 to 7 years. Less na ang ilahang ilahang pagka-egocentric. But their speech become more special and they believe what they feel or sense but can't explain why. Like for example, a child in a intuitive stage might believe that the sun follows them because they see it in the sky wherever they go. I've experienced this as a child. When I am in this stage, I experienced this. I thought the sun is following me. Kay bisag asa ko moadto, ang sun kay naapod. Yeah, that's for intuitive stage. Next, we have the concrete operational stage, 7 to 12 years old. So here, ang mga bata ani start to think logically about real things they see and touch. Here maka-recognize na ang mga bata og unsay shape, number, letter, color, yeah, something like that. Next, we have the formal operational stage. So, the formal operational stage, the ability to systematically solve a problem in a logical and methodological way. So, in formal and operational stage, ari sa 12 years old and above, mag-think na sila ilang thinking becomes much more advanced. Yeah, and that would be all. That would be all. I hope once again, my name is Messi Jane Tumolak, BS Ed English Section 2, and I hope you learned something from me this evening. Thank you.